Linda says, what's the best way to make sure TikTok influencers actually align with my brand? I've seen some bad matches out there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about you, but sometimes, I think I always feel this way in my old age. I scroll TikTok and I just feel like I'm looking at the decline of society. And sometimes, whether that's true or not, I mean, you could like if you're trying to find TikTok influencers for your brand, and there's so much just garbage out there that's just basically like view bait, or like it's a thirst trappy. How do you figure that out? I mean, do you literally just like you have to watch all their stuff and then make a judgment call for yourself, you know?
Yeah, that's what we do. I mean, that's what I'd recommend. That's what I'd do if it was my business. I mean, you're evaluating the person as what kind of person are they, right? What kind of content creator are they? So of course the back end social metrics matter, but when it comes to brand fit, the more videos you look at, the better idea you get of what this person is all about. What do they represent? What do they recommend? And if you're trying to find that they're on a good fit, what does a fit mean? It means like brand values, right? What kind of, if you're a funny brand, if you're sarcastic, if you're very conservative, whatever it is, you can find an influencer out there that's the same way and has an audience that responds to that type of content in the same way. So the fit doesn't have to be perfect. Don't overthink it. But if you're in the general ballpark, I mean, I think it's going to do well. It just can't be, a Bud Light situation of like, totally the exact opposite of your brand.
Yeah, and I would say in general, people are too picky about this stuff. Because remember, it's not. Usually, these people aren't really like ambassadors for your brand or anything like that. Like people don't. Not they're not expected to be like representing your brand. You're really not a spokesperson for them, even really. Like it's different than that, right? Like you got to let them do what they do. Obviously, if something is mega unaligned, but I just generally think that like to tick the brand awareness box and not get fired by my boss or not feel or like whatever, like people are generally more conservative than less. And you might think that's okay because there's so many influencers, but trust me, it's like not easy. Like sourcing influencers is hard work. And it might be hard to replace that one person who is going to make you money, but you're like a little worried because they said fuck once, you know? So
Right.
that's all.
Another point too is that even though it hasn't worked like this, the algorithm hasn't worked like this for a long time. I still get a lot of conversations where people think I'm sponsoring a post, they have 100,000 followers, so 100,000 people are going to see that post. Absolutely not, right? A tiny fraction of their followers actually sees every one of their posts. And then most of the other views are by the algorithm, especially on TikTok, putting it on the For You page, right? Because remember, all these platforms are fighting for attention. So they're going to show content that performs well to as large an audience as possible. So a lot of people seeing your promoted influencer content is going to be a cold audience, meaning it's just, they've probably never heard of you before and they're not in the influencers following. So that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And also just remember that like even though you shouldn't have a heavy hand, we talked about this last week. When it comes to this stuff, you do have a say in what they say. Like you do get the opportunity with influencers to talk to them about what your brand is and how they want to be represented. I think balancing that out, you know. So really you're more concerned about their history more than you are with what your content's going to be. So just something to think about.